Okay, I'll probably have them at the game on Saturday.
Remember I was
Sunday.
telling you my 15-year-old?
Sorry.
Baby's good? Oh. Baby's good. And she was a pro. Just had it. She broke her water at night and she delivered it to her.
Their friends is no Santi.
That's right.
Same day.
She's breastfeeding. Friday for a 15-year-old.
These are gonna be. It's boys and girls. So
Do they have a name for that?
Katie and Danny's.
My little guy.
Oh, anytime for me.
Nice.
good.
Well, there'll be
Hello there,
5
Happy
of
New Year.
us and probably Dr. Gordo.
60.
It's online. It's
Didn't
online.
it?
7-3. Yeah.
Must be Alexandra. Not even.
Oh, yeah, it's Deb.
Eat the cookies.
Great.
Could we change this to an action item? Looking for
And I'm not listening to either one of you.
I
Did you get a new one?
we adopt the agenda? Wait a little bit. Okay, we are gonna take under 7, action item D, into executive session. Also, G, Nicole Blacklance and Erica Blacklance, we will take 2 and 3 into executive session at the end because they deal with personnel. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Moved by Deb,
I'll second.
seconded by Michelle, by Shelley, sorry. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next on our agenda is the public forum. And Lynette, you're on to talk anyway, so I'm not gonna have you talk now, okay? No, later, okay? So that leaves Wilbur. Wants to talk about the he-dog issue for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Wasn't even gonna say anything since I was here. I gotta say something.
Oh, sure.
Well, I guess my information or issue or concern is the HEDOC school. Sure, to me, it's sure taking a long time to think where you guys gonna put it. Every time I talk with Mr. Velasquez there, it's always a try, we gotta do this or this, or at least to do this. But you know, this is a public school. You guys are the board. There's land in all 3 places where you want the school. Uppercut, whatever. And a lot of people feel, even though they don't say nothing, they feel that it should be in Farm B because this is where most of the students come from. It makes sense to me. I heard something about infrastructure, but the infrastructure is right there. To me, it's just, I don't know, I think you guys listen to one parent, one community, or just not. You're just procrastinating. I think you just at the point where you hate to maybe offend this community or that person or whatever. To me, it seems easy to make this decision. And I think you should make it real soon because according to Mr. Blasky and Scott Herman, when I talked to them, there's not too much time before things might just be held up and who knows what happened. And I don't want to lose a school out there. Way back when I first came to approach you guys, I expressed my concern for a new school because we need one. I mean, you can get things done whenever it comes to these other schools out here, but it seems like when it comes to Farm B, Edo, or Spring Creek, always kind of left out there and out here. Nothing's done. You wait around, and it seems like, I don't know what the problem is. We're not that important out there or what? I think we're public schools out there and, you should pay attention to us just as much as you do to other schools. Other schools can get things right away. I noticed that. A lot of other people notice it too, but they're not as blunt as I am, I guess. I don't know how long my 5 minutes was, but that's basically what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Wilbur. Chad, do you want to address that at all?
Or I can, or Dr.
Or
Bordeaux,
Doc?
defer to Dr. Bordeaux.
Either
right now.
one.
Yeah, I guess for Mr. Smith and anybody else out there listening, the tribe had sent us a lease, for the board to accept, and I believe at the last meeting in November, the board accepted it, a vote of 4-1, and they sent it back to the tribe and for signature. And that's what we're waiting for. So there's somebody down there, whatever has to go through, if it has to go to council or the TLE board, or, as soon as they sign it, then we can go ahead and look for an architect and get going.
Are you talking about location or just approve the school?
Well, the location was specifically rated permanently.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
And I believe it was at the November 28th board meeting.
Right, it's right east of the community there, right around the curve.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Won't bother you.
You will, you will.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
You can bother him. Okay, onward then to.
Thank you.
Thank you. 4.1, superintendent contract offer.
That just shows where the addition is at, so we'll take that up.
Okay. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Next then is 6.1. Mobile, pardon me?
Well, you can do his presentation, and then we'll take action on it at 7.4.
Do your presentation, sir.
Thank you much. Can I just briefly say something? Dr. Holloway called me about 2 weeks ago with this proposition to provide some vision services for our students, and yet they worked with a county school over there, and wanted to come over here and work with the Todd County School District. So, I told him to send me some information, and then there's a board meeting, the 14th and the 28th, and if you wanted to come and talk to the board about that, then to send the information, and then we would put it on the agenda, and he said he would come down. The main offices are in Rapid City. Come down and visit the board and see if they're interested. So, Dr. Holloway, Simmons, his wife, she's also works with him in his office up there. So.
Thank you, sir. Can I stand at the head?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Dr. Bordeaux for inviting me down today, and I'd like to thank the board for having me here to listen to my proposal. I am asking for permission to proceed with this proposal, so if we can call that an action item today, that would be fantastic. My name is Dr. Dan Holloway. I'm a Rapid City optometrist. I've been practicing in Rapid City for 5 years. My wife has been practicing with me for 3 years. She's also an optometrist. And as of this past fall, we switched gears in how we practice. It was my idea initially, and I was able to convince her to join me in the endeavor, but I essentially took my downtown Rapid City optometry clinic and I put it on wheels so we could cover the entire state, all 4 corners, and access people who really don't have access to quality annual eye care. So how did I do that? Well, I bought a 40-foot travel trailer. I totally renovated it. We've got 4 rooms in the trailer, a pre-testing room, 2 eye exam clinic lanes, and an optical dispensary. It's the first program of its kind, as far as I know, in South Dakota. Nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever attempted it before. I think the IHS have made some attempts at mobile screening units. Other private clinics have done mobile screening units, but nobody's done comprehensive care with prescription glasses. So please don't confuse me with a mobile screening unit. We do it all, just like you'd come to my office downtown in Rapid City, is what we deliver in the mobile clinic. The emphasis is on school children. I feel that's where we can get the greatest impact and we can have the greatest access. Obviously, the kids are all congregating in the schools on pretty much a daily basis, so it's very easy to get them to familiarize themselves with our program and offer our full range of services to them. In my Rapid City clinic, it was very common that I would see these kids coming from the reservation who would tell me, you know, I lost my glasses a year or two ago, and I say, okay, well, let's check our eye chart, and I put the big E up there, and they'd be squinting and struggling even to see the big E, and that leads me to think, you know, how are these kids functioning in the classroom if they can't even see a big letter, you know, on the board? So my plan was then to, you know, really use my services to their fullest impact, and that was travel directly to the kids. You know, and in order to get kids to wear glasses, you have to meet certain criteria. They have to have an active prescription. Glasses have to be in good condition. You know, not scratched lenses, not broken frames. They're all glued up and duct taped. You know, I've seen that a lot. And most importantly, from the kids' point of view, they have to look good. They have to be stylish. They have to be new. They have to be fresh. You know, that's why we're really hoping to offer annual care. Come to the same school every year. Develop a professional working relationship. Familiarize the kids with us. We want to familiarize ourselves with the schools. And we want to offer this vital service on an annual basis. So with annual visits and ease of access, there's also the funding of the program, so we don't charge the kids, we don't charge the families, we don't charge the schools. We bill vision insurance, so primarily Medicaid, but also private vision insurance. All of the kids should have access to vision insurance of some sort, and part of that, there's federal law under the Affordable Care Act that says that vision services to children is a priority and mandatory under the plans that are available these days in the private sector. And then if kids are not getting insurance through the private sector, in the state of South Dakota, it's not too challenging to get activated with Medicaid to cover the vision needs. So for kids with active insurance, we offer comprehensive eye exams, prescription glasses selected from our optical with quality impact-resistant lenses, and a written prescription that they can take anywhere. You know, we want to give them access so they get that written prescription from us. Then if they want to buy online or they want to go to the nearest town and get glasses, that's fine. But they're going to get a pair from us just to start them out. There's also a program to replace lost or broken glasses, which is a very common problem with the kids that we've seen. So if glasses do get lost or broken, we give them our contact information. They can call or email our business office, and through their insurance, we can often provide a replacement pair pretty efficiently. For kids who don't have insurance still, now everybody has access to it, doesn't mean everybody has it in reality. I'm working on getting grant money to cover glasses for those kids. Right now we don't have it for this school year. That's not something that we have available, but I've got a plan for next year to get some grant money to cover even those kids who don't have access to the insurance. So from the schools, there's a little bit of help that I need from them. So distributing and collecting the forms that give consent. You know, they collect health history, they collect insurance information, they give contact information in case we have questions or trying to track down further information. That's really the biggest roadblock between my program and getting these kids in the clinic that need our services, is trying to get those forms signed by the parents and guardians, getting them collected, getting them returned to me. You know, future years we want to get our forms in with the start of the year administration, or the registration packets. You know, we're not there this year because we started at the end of October, but for next year we'd like to get our forms in, just to make that a little easier, to get the paperwork side taken care of. Coordinating the visit, of course, we need to show up on a certain day and park in a certain place. So with each school, we kind of work with them on an individual basis to determine the best way to go about that, as well as getting the kids from the class into our clinic and then back into class. So far, every school has been unique in how they want to approach that challenge, and we're open to doing whatever's best from the school's point of view. Finally, dispensing glasses. The last thing I need is just a little table space once the glasses are all manufactured to deliver them to the kids. So that's usually not too big of a deal, and pretty fun, you know, for the kids to come out and get their glasses when all the work is done. So my program has already operated on the Pine Ridge Reservation. We've been at it for about 3 months so far, and coming off a long winter break. And we want to get started in Todd County with your permission, of course. So that's my proposal here, and you know, with your help, I believe that we can deliver a whole new level of unprecedented access to quality annual eye care for these kids, something that's just hasn't been here before, something that has been a sizable challenge in the past. I want to change that. That's the entire purpose of the program that I started. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have.
In our discussion, we talked about probably 90% of our students have access to IHS.
Yes.
The eye clinic down there, but, just from personal experience, it took me 9 months to get in there, so I don't know how they work well with our students, or how they don't work well with our students. So, I explained that to Dr. Holloway. And I thought right now, the issue would be is to get these forms out and back. We do that with, several other, like flu shots and some of the other stuff, but that's, for us anyway, that's gonna be the most difficult part right now. We got 2,100 students, but it's not nothing new to us. We've done it before. But we had that conversation already on the phone. So. Right. Anybody else had any questions for him?
Anybody?
And I did mention to him about our sister school, St. Francis, over there, possibly working with them too.
Yeah, any school that has interest and demonstrates need, we're very happy to serve them.
How long does it take to get the glasses back?
We're shooting for 2 weeks, really as soon as possible. So the goal from my point of view is once the clinic leaves school grounds, that 2-week mark we'd like to be by with glasses. We have worked with a couple different labs since we're brand new. We're still kind of ironing a few things out. So some of the schools we've worked with so far have had to wait a month or so. But we want to shorten that. And as we get better at this, that time frame will shorten.
And you indicated in here too, if they don't qualify for Medicaid, if they don't have their own vision insurance, that you would still give them a test.
Yeah, so we'll do screenings. So they'll get a professional screening, and everybody gets a vision report home, detailing our findings and our recommendations to the parents and guardians to let them know that the child was seen. This is what we found. This is what we recommend. At this time, if insurance isn't paying for glasses, we're just going to recommend that the child be taken to the nearest clinic if they demonstrate need, whether it's IHS or a private clinic. But I guess the big part there is just making parents aware that something needs to be done. Ideally, they would get the child on insurance, and then we would see the child annually thereafter.
Will you deal with contacts at all?
No,
Okay.
contacts in a mobile clinic are a sticky situation just because of hygiene.
Okay.
And we could, but it's not a challenge we're interested in taking, just because from what I know about the risks, the benefits don't really outweigh the risks from my point of view.
Okay.
But that being said, with the glasses prescription, that'll be a valid prescription for a year. They can take that to any other clinic and get a contact prescription based on that,
Sure.
just not from me.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Well, what do you think then?
I think we should.
Okay.
It's hard for our kids to get glasses
It
around.
is.
And
It
to get
is.
into the clinic.
Like Dr. Burrows said, it takes a long time to even get an appointment.
Right.
We just had that vision clinic this summer. Those people came in from out of state, and we saw hundreds and hundreds of people, and so there is a need.
Yeah, I told him about the program that Sente had over the summer. Some people, I don't know what organization that was, but they came in and set it up down at the university out there. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them, but
yeah.
I'd be happy to talk to them.
Do you need a motion?
Okay, we need a motion
I'll
then?
move.
Pardon me?
I'll move.
Okay, moved by Linda,
I'll second.
seconded by Shelley. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Yes,
it.
thanks for
thank
driving
you.
down.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
I have an MOU here, I'll drop off with you.
Yeah.
And in terms of time frame, you know, my schedule's open, so I can start at any time. I do have some forms with me in my vehicle that I can drop off with you. If I was thinking we'd start with the elementary school and middle school. If you would pass those out for me as soon as they start coming in, I can bring the clinic down and get going.
You have some already, forms?
I've got forms printed, yeah, I've got about 1,000 forms printed.
Just, yeah. You?
Should I drop them off with you or up front or?
Right now. I'll take them.
Right now, go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, onward then to 6.2, and that is you, Lynette.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you all for your time. My name is Lynette Whitehat. I am the HEDOC Fellow. My Lakota name is Oanka Oyankali, which means Woman Who Watches the Altar. My parents are the late Dr. Cecil Whitehat and Dolores Whitelands. I was born and raised here on Rosebud Reservation. However, I was raised by May One Star in the St. Francis community. So I grew up in the St. Francis Two-Strike and Grass Mountain communities. I am alumni of St. Francis Indian School, where I graduated in 1998. In 2004, I graduated with my associate's degree in liberal arts from Degashka. And in 2016, I graduated with my bachelor's in education with a minor in Lakota studies. So I've been in education a long time. I worked at the county school district for over 16 years. I've spent the majority of my time at Todd County Middle School. I started out as a teacher's aide at Oak Creek. I am currently the fellow, the NISN fellow at HEDOG. I started in August 15th was my hire date. I never want to forget or leave, put on the back burner how far we've come in education. And that's been a long ways. We've really come far in education. Coming from the boarding school system into where we are at now. So it's really good to see both natives and non-natives working together to help our children. And that's been a really ongoing successful process. So one of the things working at HEDOG, one of the things that I started to do, and I already had in place, was indigenizing the curriculum. So what I did out there in the fall was I started implementing a unit that covered land-based leadership and historical trauma. And I introduced this unit to the staff out there, and what we did was I created a curriculum, a lesson plan with all the resources needed to research these topics. So it was given to the teachers K through 8th, and they broke it down to accommodate their students in their classrooms. So in the fall, each classroom took, they did the curriculum, they did the reading, the writing, the research on these topics, and then it was followed up with experiential learning, which required field trips. So each classroom in each grade had gone to Crazy Horse and Wind Cave. We're still working on the upper grades for the Wind Cave trips. They're gonna do that in the spring. Also, one thing we did was in October, the school participated in the Native American Day Parade that was hosted in Sioux Falls, and they placed in the kiddie category. So after the implementation, we worked on Unit 2, and HEDOG's motto is being a good relative. That's their motto for the year. So they're basing a lot of the activities and things that they do out there surrounding this motto. So what we did for the second unit out there, what I did was I did it following the knockout model, which NISN comes out of. Their wellness will on the 4 stages of life and the core values that Lakota people practice. So the one we focused on was generosity and how to be a good relative. So what the teachers did was they used the medicine wheel concept and the age group that they worked with, so the stage of life that their students were in and how they practiced the value of generosity at home, in the community, and at school. So they created wellness wheels in each of their grades. And the third unit that we worked on was leaning more towards the language, and I'm using my Grandpa Albert's orthography. So, and this orthography has a curriculum with it. It's got 3 bundles that were designed by Dottie LeBeau and Lydia Warren Soldier. So it's written into a curriculum. How he wrote it is designed with a curriculum, plus it has these 3 bundles to come along with it. And the 2 books that I ordered was Zuya and Reading and Writing the Lakota Language. So at the beginning of December, from the 3rd to the 7th, we had a week-long professional development on Lakota language. So we utilized June Alkluxback, who is a fluent speaker and a teacher at HEDOG, as well as my partner, who is also a fluent speaker, Felix Eagleman. And we brought them together, and we had a week-long professional development with the staff out there on language. And the language part is going to continue throughout the year, so they're going to have monthly professional development on the language. And what we did was, after observing Oyate Burnett's class at Rosebud, I took the model she's using in her classroom and I transferred it out to HEDOG, which is a Lakota word wall, labeling things in a classroom in Lakota, doing a daily meet and greet, introduction, and just exposing our children to more of the language, written, orally, more hands-on. I also, we're indigenizing the classroom library, so I ordered 13 books from Paul Gobo to Albert Whitehat to Joel Marshall to utilize in their classrooms. So these are all kid-friendly books that they're going to be reading and sharing with their kids, and then just following up with classroom lessons. One of the things that was happening out there when I came on, and it was the first year that this has gone on, was last year, Vicky, the principal, started implementing Lakota names in the enrollment packet, which I thought was really awesome. And another thing she did was also start the naming, the hunka ceremony out there, which I think was really awesome as well. So she was able to find out who had Lakota names, and she communicated with the community and the parents as to how many families wanted this done for their children, and they implemented that at their powwow, which I think was really awesome. Because as Lakota people, one of the first things that we tell people is our name when we go anywhere, and that's a big part of who we are. And having a Lakota name is a huge part of who we are, and it helps build that cultural foundation, as for our children and throughout our life at a young age, and then you receive your adult Lakota name. So it's part of that way of life, it's part of that culture that we implement and follow. So I was really glad that Vicky did that, because it's a huge part of who we are as Lakota people. Some of the things I've done was I helped Jen with the cultural day that she had up here on November 17th. Vicky and I also went with the classes when they went to Wind Cave. We didn't make the Crazy Horse, but we did make the Wind Cave one. And then we also went to the girls' school in Pine Ridge. I don't know how many of you heard of that, but the girls' school in Pine Ridge is a school that's strictly young ladies, and their curriculum, their design is set up by seasons. They work with their local medicine people, and everything that they do is designed by seasons, their curriculum, the foods, everything. And it's a really powerful curriculum that they have. It's amazing. And I really hope that Todd County, kind of adopts that model and moves in that direction for our young women and men, utilizing our way of life completely into our curriculum. I think that's really awesome. On December 3rd, we started the drum group with Gabe Redkettle, as you guys seen tonight, and he's been doing an amazing job with them. He's a Todd County High School graduate, and he's very knowledgeable about what he's doing. He is a singer. He does work with people in the community. He's very active. He's sober, very respectful young man. The work that I'm doing under NISN, I'm no stranger to. It's something that I've worked with for many years alongside Sage Fast Dog at the middle school. And it's something that we've done for a long time as far as like implementing the culture into the curriculum. And I think that's something that should continue and, you know, be ongoing, not just with these two schools that have this grant, but district-wide. I think it's really important for our children to have that foundation built into their curriculum. And we've been very, very fortunate to have the support of, you know, administrators like Ms. Bear, you know, who have that knowledge base of the Lakota culture, you know, and the education, and you can walk in both worlds, and you're able to maintain that balance. So we can do this in the schools, you know, and have that leeway and that support and that open gate so we can continue this work. I'm really fortunate that, you know, working with Todd County, I've been able to do this work. This is not just Daly's work, this is my life's passion. It's been stressed to me, you know, since I graduated, you know, growing up, you know, that you go out and you get your education and, you know, you can go out into the world, but don't forget to always come back and help your people. And that's where I stand with this, you know, with this position and, you know, with the work that I've done over the years. It's very important for me to continue working education so we can help our young people, you know, and help them, you know, give them that guidance and that strength, you know, that knowledge base they need to be productive relatives, you know, when they go out into the world. So this work goes beyond just the classroom and the school setting, you know, we're setting them up to be productive citizens, you know, so that's where everything is as far as what I'm doing out to Hidalgo. You have any questions?
Thank you.
Any question in the group?
Pardon? I don't have a question. Do you?
What other school? You said some of them qualified for the grant. Which other schools?
It's us and Todd County Middle School.
Oh, middle school. Yeah.
And I've asked the principal, so you'll be able to share a little bit with you. They have a couple other programs that they're starting to work with, Envision and
Journey.
What?
Journey.
Yeah, Journey. So she could talk a little bit about them.
Okay, so last year, Dave Arshamble from Standing Rock, he contacted me trying to see if we can apply at HEDOG for this EdVisions grant. They were only going to select 15 schools, but we weren't able to. He came back again this year and asked, so thankfully we're fortunate enough to apply, even more fortunate enough to be selected, the 15 schools. So we will be, it's a 3-year grant. Let me see. It's project-based learning and experiential learning. They're going to provide support and PD for the staff. And I forget what else Visions does. So anyway, during the application process, Dave Arshamble sought another grant. Kind of the same thing, but more PD, more support for schools who want to make huge changes for the better. It's kind of along the lines of what we're doing with this grant, but also a lot of experiential learning stuff. So he invited us to apply for that. We're going to be meeting on Wednesday, actually. But like I said, our application was accepted by EdVisions, and it's going to start this year. Yeah, so the staff, the teachers are pretty excited about it. They've all been trained in project-based learning, but this is just, you know, going to support and help them with that. And EdVisions will be out on HEDOG site throughout the next few years helping us. So I'm pretty excited about it. We're all excited about it. And I just kind of want to, I don't know if you need me to share any more about that.
Yeah, more?
I know I've been forwarding everything to Dr. Bordeaux, and so he'll share all of that information with you all. But if you need any more, I have some, just one handout. I can make copies and send them to you guys if you want. But it's exciting. Our children need that, you know, that type of learning, experiencing things and researching and doing their own projects. think it's a good thing. But I just kind of want to say something about this program. I'm really grateful to Lynette and everything that she brought on board. I was getting a little nervous this summer because we weren't able to get somebody in there, and things just really worked out good. So I'm fortunate to have Lynette on. She has, of course, her own, like she talked about, her own experience. We've been doing a lot out there. These guys, I'm so proud of them. They've come a long way in what, a month?
Yep.
So we're doing a lot of good things out to VDOT, and a lot of it has to do with this grant. And I really want to reiterate what Lynette said about securing funding to sustain these positions, whether they're at VDOT, Todd County, I don't know. They need to be in the district, so.
Should add too that Spring Creek's involved with the projects too.
Yeah, Spring Creek is part of the journey.
I had one more question. You talked about the girls' school over in Pine Ridge and how the seasons, is it all of their education? Are they separated, or are they co-ed during any part, or is it just, have they
It's
separated?
Pacific girls.
Have they found that that's been really successful for education-wise, like their learning, their academics and separating and doing things like this, or what have they discovered? Do we have information or data on that yet?
They haven't shared any data with us. We requested some of
requested
that,
it.
yeah. They're still in the, I don't know if you'd call it planning stages of
Yeah.
developing solid curriculums. Right now, I mean, the culture, of course, is at the forefront for them, and it really shows. But this year, they said they are solidifying their curriculums and.
Where did you say it was located at?
Porcupine.
Oh, okay.
Go see it.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any more questions?
Anybody have questions?
I just want to commend you, ladies. Kudos for Hidalgo School.
Yeah, yay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, right? 28th.
That's what
Those will pass down, but
we're collaborating with childcare.
keep up with everybody, and if you want the principals.
Okay. Get to eat.
Thank you.
With childcare, we're collaborating with childcare.
That's a board meeting night too.
Yeah.
Okay, 6.3, second reading of School Board Policy, Section D. I sat down with Penny and went over my grammatical and spelling. Yes. I'm sure I didn't catch them all, but we
Try.
We tried, yes. Okay. Correspondence, whoops,
I think she
I'm
made,
sorry.
she made them already.
Did she? Oh, yeah. NAFIS correspondence information. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah, I don't know if they've been providing that for you, I guess when I worked here before, we got that certificate that I always used to present it to the board. Comes from me.
Yeah, I see that.
They're official. You're supposed to see Chad's name on there,
Yes. Yes.
but I just wanted to
good information there.
Chad's heading out here shortly. But you know what I mean? It's playoff game.
Aw.
And there's a board meeting too. I know.
Okay. On to the consent agenda. We're gonna pull out D, and we're gonna pull out, 2 and 3 on letter G. Is there a motion then to accept the rest of it?
A second.
Okay, moved by Shelley, seconded by Linda. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see here. Okay, then we have to set the date for the 2019 school board election.
John, your packet, Mr. Brodsky provided some information on the process.
Yeah,
Uh,
I see that.
Depending on what the date is that you select for the election, the board has 3 choices. And using, last year, I know we used the middle one to coincide with the state election.
State, yeah.
Thought we'd have a few more people out and voting. But this year, we don't have a state election, but I'm still recommending that we do it on June 4th, the yellow one.
Okay. Is that good with everybody?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so June 4th then. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Michelle, seconded by Deb. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. 7.3, recommend to offer a 12-month, 3-year administrative contract to Carol Galbraith as superintendent of schools for the 2019-20 through 21-22 school years, effective July 1st, 2019. Salary rate, $120,000 for the 2019-2020 school year. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Moved by Shelley.
Second.
Seconded by Deb. And Linda, you'll recuse yourself,
Yep.
right? Okay, all in favor then?
Yes.
4-0-1. All right, upcoming meetings. Next regular board meeting is Monday, January 28th, 2019 at 5:30 here in the Curriculum Center. The spring conference for NAPIS is March 17th through the 19th in Washington, D.C. An NSBA conference is March 30th through April 1st in Philadelphia. Okay, shall we, whoop,
January 17th, you talked about? For,
Work
Nice.
session.
what was that?
Session. Work session.
January 17th, yeah,
And that was at 5?
5:30.
5:30.
We have some slow drivers.
No, we don't.
I didn't mention names.
Okay.
All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll go into executive session for personnel.